Dayton comes into town. Let's talk about our matchup with them and how we match up with the Flyers.
Yeah, another great and competitive A-10 game early in the conference season. So, like most games, we'll have our hands full, but we're excited to play. We had some great battles with them last year, and they're having a great season and playing very well right now, especially being 3-0 in the conference.
16 games in, 15 to go. At this kind of midpoint of the year, what's kind of your overall summation evaluation? This all things considered, how things have gone so far?
Yeah, I think we've had some great moments. I think we showed what we're capable of and played basketball at a high level. I think our defense has carried us for most of the season, and it's turned into our identity, which is I love, which is great because it's something that we emphasize throughout the off season. So to see it come to fruition and to see the guys believe in it so much is great, and that's how we build our culture on that. Offensively, I really believe that we would be a better offensive team. We're just not shooting the ball well, and I think we're having still too many turnovers. But there's times when our offense is clicking, and that when that ball's hot and we're getting paint touches, we're hard to guard because we have guys that can make plays. So we got to. I think we really can still get a lot better on the offensive end for sure. So halfway through, I wish there's a couple plays, a couple moments I wish we had back, but we also have had some really good ones too.
What kind of stands out about their inside presence? Cunningham, Toppin, what they've done.
Yeah, they just they have some big guys, some big guys that can play. Cunningham, who's so experienced, has played in so many games in such big games. Just a guy that around the basket, off the block, can just cause lots of problems. Could really score it, but he also does a lot of other things for them as well. But his presence, it's just his presence of being a big, strong, older guy around the basket and knows how to play, creates a lot of problems. So we're gonna, we're gonna guard like we do, but we're gonna have to make sure we're very, we respect him so much and aware of him, and we got to do a great job on the glass. We got to really rebound and not let them get second shots.
You had a day of practice since Davidson. How would you gauge the response? And
yeah, the guys were upset about Saturday. We played pretty well on the road. We played against a very good team. We just didn't finish. One comment I made was we got the lead. We had a really nice lead, but it was really early in the half. But we gotta build on leads. You can't beat yourself when you have a lead to give the other team a chance to get back in the game. So. You knew they were going to make a run. We didn't do a good job down the stretch offensively of finding ways to score. We just you got to learn from it. It's still so early in the conference play. You got to learn from it. Tough place to play. Thought we had some great response to the game, but just didn't finish. And I think it's a big part of taking the next step as a team this year and as a program. Is now it's time that we start finishing.
Sometimes feel like you're just plugging a different hole in the dike every game. You play LaSalle, and your point is don't fight the game.
Yeah.
It looked like at Davidson they didn't fight the game.
We had a lot of it. Sometimes comes down on missing and making a shot, and that's maturity. That's experience, and I always say that when finally something clicks inside you as a basketball player or as just an athlete, that you learn, and finally, after learning a number of times, you say, all right, that's enough of that. I'm not responding that way to that. And I think one thing is, our guys feel that they're good offensive players, but we just haven't been consistent enough. So at times you feel like you're plugging holes. But we're not stopping being aggressive. That's one thing. We're not getting gun shy, but we got to be smarter, especially in certain situations of the game where we talk about logging the game.
What different methods do you use to kind of keep the shooters' confidence up on everything you pull from when you play, and different things to make sure that, okay, you guys are capable of doing this, but here's how to keep that confidence up?
A lot of shooting drills, a lot of extra shooting that way, and then we talk about good quality, the quality of the shot. And we showed some video the other day of what are good shots and what aren't. going further back doesn't mean you're more open. There's a reason, because you're going further back. So I think we need to take quality shots in our range, as well as putting more pressure on the defense by attacking defenses more. We have guys that can get downhill. We have guys that can score it in the post. We just have to. I always say you got to have a balance. If you don't have guys that can't shoot it, then you're easy to guard. And we have shot it well at times this year. It's not as consistent as I would like, but I also know we have some guys that can hit 3 or 4 in a game, and so we're not shying away from that. But we also got to make sure we're shooting quality shots. The other thing we do in practice is I'll just call somebody out in front of the whole team. They got to make 5 in a row or five threes in front of everybody while everybody's yelling for you and cheering you on and all that stuff. And just putting guys in the spotlight of go make a big shot and do it in practice, and it carries over to the games.
We tend to make a big deal out of this team facing former coaches, but have you ever noticed at any level a former coach having any kind of distinct advantage in preparing for not just the individual players but the overall program?
No, I think maybe teams coming here who coaches have been here before, coached here, maybe giving them having a little more awareness of playing on the road at the place they've coached at. Probably, it's still, it goes back to your routine. Coach Grant and other coaches who coach here have a routine, how they go about it. I don't think they're changing it up because of their former school. Because it's not about the coach. It's about your team and what's best to have your team prepared to play. So no, I don't think so. I think sometimes it's more on the coaches of the going back and knowing people there, and they want your time and all that stuff. I think it's trying to make sure you're locked in to help your team win.
So Johnny Williams on campus yesterday. You gonna have him draw up his game winner from the 18 tournament last year?
That'd be nice. The biggest thing with having some of our guys around, like Johnny hurt his knee. He was playing in Europe. He came back to get that right. Having these guys around is when they come back after a year out or a couple of years out, they let the guys know, don't take this for granted. Because when you're out in the real world on your own, you come back and they let you know how good you had it at VCU. When you're here for a number of years, I'm not saying guys take advantage of it, but it's routine for them. And then when Johnny got back, he's like, "You guys have a lot better than you always think." And we've all been there. You go out in the real world because you can't wait to do that, and then you're like, "Wow, it's no joke." So it's good to have some of those guys come back. Justin Tillman was back. He broke a bone in his hand, and he came back for a couple of days, and he's been around, and he talked about how much he missed VCU and being here and having everybody helping him and so forth. So it's good to resonate that humility with our guys.
A little bit more juice to a matchup when you face a team that you face in the conference tournament. Talking about a game in the 18 tournament. You had 3 games against them last year, so that following season is a little bit more for the guys going to a game like that.
Yeah, because there's a lot of returning players on both teams, and we went up there and they shellacked us. I mean, they went off early on us, and we couldn't get back in the game, and that was really a point in the season where we really had to man up, and I think we did. Then we got the lead here. We had a nice lead, and they made an unbelievable comeback late in the game. So all that tape helps. The conference tournament game, definitely tape helps, but there's some new faces on the team. The guys are a little bit older, so I think we're a whole different team than we were last year, pretty much all aspects of what we do. So, but we know we have a great opponent. It's conference, so we gotta be ready. But past experiences definitely help. Past game tapes definitely help, without a doubt.
You do see, to Wayne's point, the same kind of potential explosiveness in this year's Dayton team that you've had to deal with in the past?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think they're much better than they were last year, much better. And I think part of it is some of the younger guys last year, a year experience. They have a deeper bench, more talented players that have come in than that they had in the past, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Senior year, someone asked him why he hadn't been the guy who was taking the shots and being the leader and all that. And he said, well, we had a guy named Trevion Graham. And the point being, there always seemed to be at least one guy who was going to take over at the end and who would be able to finish. Do you feel like that guy hadn't stepped forward for you yet?
Yeah, I think probably. I think at times we have different guys step up in the moment that's needed. But I think Marcus Santos Silva has made some great plays late in the game that help, especially around the rim. I think Marcus Evans and IV and Dariante have had their moments of making plays, but I don't think we have that one guy yet. I know we have guys that are going to probably have the ball in their hands to make a decision, but we don't have that yet. But I think some guys are coming along that with experience and being in that role. And as much as we all wish it was game one that we have that, it takes time. And even 16 games in, it's still, that's how it goes. That's part of the maturation process of a young team and different roles.
Wayne said you're 15, we're only 16.
16, 11 and 5.
15 left, and suddenly I got very tired. But what's the coach have to do to make sure that everybody's getting to the finish line as rested and as healthy and as strong as they can?
Don't have a coach have a 3-hour practice. You know what? I think a lot of that, our guys are really excited where they're with the season, even though we've had a couple that, oh man, they're right there, because we've shown some great growth from last year throughout this year. I think the guys are really close and enjoy playing with each other, so that always helps. There's a lot more out there for us. There really is. If you look at it, I mean, I know it's halfway through, but I mean, I think there's a lot of teams in the A-10 that could win this league. I think we're one of them. That doesn't mean we're going to be that team, but I think we have some capability of maybe we could win this league, or hey, let's see what happens. But we've been close a lot in some great battles. We've won some, but we've also been close. And so, are we going to take the next step? Is it going to happen? And I think the guys feel that, but it doesn't guarantee you that you're going to win the next game. But that mindset, if this is the hump part of the year, I think our guys are excited to keep playing. And they're not looking at the end; they're looking like what can we do next. So practices have been spirited. I like the vibe of the team. I like where we are body-wise. And when it comes to injuries or bumps and bruises, whatever you want to call it, I think we have some live bodies still at 16 games into the season. So, this time last year we were hobbling with ankle injuries and major bumps and bruises, and with not great depth. This year we have great depth, playing a lot of guys, and for pretty much most guys are pretty healthy and feeling good.
To your point about no 3-hour practice.
Not to interrupt you, but the other thing is, when guys are around the gym outside of practice, that's when you know they're locked in. Like we had 3 guys shooting this morning when I came into work. Sweat. Yesterday, we'd call it vitamins after practice, and usually it's 8 to 12 minutes of getting game shots up, and 20 minutes later, there's more than half the team still out there shooting. So that, I always felt the better teams I coach or I've been around, and you see those guys in the gym all the time. So I think mindset-wise, that's huge too.
No 3-hour practices. I think a broadcaster on Saturday mentioned this possibility of like a guy like Marcus Evans maybe having some sort of off days throughout the work in. Is there more of that kind of in the second half?
Yeah. So what we do with him, and this is from his physical therapist to doctors and our trainer Dennis Williams. We play Saturday. We're off Sunday. everybody's off Sunday. They get treatment and all that, and then Monday he does treatment in the morning, and then very light reps for him, very light. We'll pump up his reps up today, be ready to go tomorrow. He'll do his rehab and his work on his body with the trainer on Thursday. Probably won't practice much on Thursdays. Warm it up Friday, and then have him ready to go Saturday. So, yeah.
Is he closer to 100%? You said he was 70, 75.
No, I don't think closer, but not definitely not 100. But he's had some. I thought on Saturday was maybe his best defensive game I've ever seen him play. I mean, his impact on the ball, creating pressure. I mean, there was a couple of times he was pressuring the ball with his hands behind his back, just turning the ball. I mean, he was locked in, and so I think it's coming. It's coming. His conditioning and wind is very good, but he, Dr. Lochran said the other day, like, we're 6 months from his injury, and you're not fully healed from Achilles for a year, 12 months. So, I mean, I don't care what anyone says. It's pretty impressive. Now, the difference between if that was any of us in here and him, he's 21 and a high-level athlete. If that was any of us, it would take 12 months. But for him to play the minutes and the impact he's had on our team has been pretty impressive.
In the second half of the season, are there more than maybe a guy that's coming off an injury who might get some days off too, like some familiar?
Yeah. I mean, so every morning Dennis and I talk, and we go through every player on the team every morning, and if guys. So Mike G, his knee was bothering him 2 weeks ago, and we shut him down, and then shut him down, and he's getting his treatment, and 2 days later he felt great. So we'll do that with a lot of guys. That's an everyday decision, without a doubt. Marcus Santos was really sore a couple weeks ago, and shut him down and really stretched him and got his treatment in. Felt great the next day, and then came back and felt really good for the game. So yeah, we'll do that a lot. For Marcus Evans, he's just, he's defined injury that we have to make sure that we're on top of that. Yeah, I'm not good with injuries, man. I think I said this before. My dad was a old school high school football coach, and you're fine. If the bone wasn't showing, you're fine. And he really meant that, and I think my mom said it too. So I listen to the trainer. That's his job, and I listen to them because everybody's different handling that stuff.